Good morning, welcome to Catex TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, go to Catex TV. In a very surprising decision, the former head of RSA Ireland, Philip Smith, was ruled to be the victim of a constructive dismissal. This is the ruling of an Irish employment tribunal in Dublin yesterday. Smith was awarded $1.4 million US by the tribunal, which said RSA had gone on a fact-finding mission to secure evidence that would seal his fate. This is according to the Irish Times. It found that at least 24 employees within RSA Ireland and the wider group were aware of the reserving problems in RSA Ireland that had ultimately led to Smith's dismissals. Losses relating to the Irish accounting scandal have amounted to about 400 million euros to date, and RSA has injected capital into the Irish operation to ensure its solvency up to the ratio of 200%, which is actually unheard of. Smith resigned as head of the UK Irish unit back in November of 2013. The Irish report said that Smith claimed that the reserve margin in the Irish platform was almost unique in terms of its size, and in fact had been known as, quote, the treasure in the Irish caves among RSA's top executives in London. He further alleged that he'd been instructed by those top executives that this was a group asset and that it was to be used as the group saw fit. Smith said that he had been, quote, thrown under the bus when the accounting issues came to light, and he became the fall guy for all of the problems. He said his character had been assassinated in a draft report written to the Irish regulator that blamed him for the actuarial reserving problems and criticized his management style. During the proceedings, Smith was reportedly accused of an aggressive management style. He was said to have reduced professional men to weeping and crying and shaking with fear. This is a quite unexpected verdict, actually, so we'll see if there's any more fallout. The owners of the investment fund started by Tony Belisle, Catco Investment Management, have apparently been working with Willis Capital Groups on a deal to sell all or part of their stakes in their retro-focused insurance-linked securities unit. Catco is the sixth largest specialist ILS fund. It's got $2.8 billion of assets under management. The big broker Integro is working with Evercore as it's looking to recapitalize and provide exits for a number of its founders. Not ruled out is a possible sale of the company. Integra was founded back in, let's just double check this. It was founded in 2005 by Bob Clements and his son John, as well as former Marsh McLennan executives Pete Garvey and Roger Egan. The company's EBITDA right now, earnings before interest, taxes, and depreciation, is about $25 million. Double-digit multiples are common for U.S. brokers in buyouts now from private equity firms. So it could perhaps pull in something over 250 to 300. It was initially capitalized at $320 million. Greece's creditors are quickly reviewing the country's newest proposals today. This is ahead of a crucial meeting of Eurozone finance ministers tomorrow that could determine whether or not Greece clinches a last-minute bailout. There's still some significant differences. The International Monetary Fund does not like what it's seen so far. The new agreement that is being proposed by Greece is going to increase national sales tax, value-added tax. It's also going to reduce pensions, and it's going to rely heavily on raising taxes and Social Security contributions. Now, Alex Tsipras, who's the Greek prime minister, who was elected on a promise of ending the austerity measures imposed by creditors from the Eurozone and the IMF, is already facing severe backlash from his Syriza party. He's being told publicly that the parliament is not going to support the proposals that he's carried to Brussels. So he is in a real pickle whether or not the European Eurozone people accept it. He's still going to have to sell it back home. There's been a terrible heat wave in Pakistan over the last 72 hours that have killed 450 people. Most of the deaths so far have been in the southern port city of Karachi. Temperatures there have reached 45 degrees Celsius. Hospitals have been swamped with people suffering from heat stroke and dehydration. Repeated power outages have caused the air conditioning to go out. The electricity grid in Karachi is run by a private company. It's been overwhelmed as people switch on their fans and air conditioners, and as people begin to cook their evening meal at the same time. This is Ramadan, which began last week, so people tend to eat when the sun goes down. The Mexican government has announced plans for a nearly $10 billion pipeline that's going to carry electricity and natural gas under the Gulf of Mexico from Texas to the port of Veracruz. This is the costliest project in a national infrastructure project that's going to be a 500-mile underwater pipeline. It's expected to be in operation by June of 2018. Officials are hoping that facilitating the importation of cheap natural gas will lower Mexico's electricity rates. We'll keep an eye on Greece. As I say, even if the Europeans agree to it, the real action then is going to occur when Cyprus returns home to Athens and has to sell that to the Greek parliament. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.